Hey everybody, I've been hard at work here getting my fusion reactor components together. So let me give you an update and tell you where we are with it at the moment. So last episode we had built the fusion control computer and determined that we need a lot more resources for all the rest of it. I've gone and counted stuff up. These numbers may be wrong, but they're at least in the right ballpark. So if I'm off by a little bit, it shouldn't be too much. But so these are kind of the tough materials that I have to gather in order to get all the fusion coils and other stuff together. So this one's annoying. There's no really good way to get iridium. I think I'm like a breed and a half away from valuable bees. So I think I'm going to go that route. I was trying to do it just purely with UU matter, but this stuff is just way too slow to produce. And I kind of need iridium for other stuff too, so I'm going to need to be able to produce a lot of it all at once. I'm working on getting an ultimate hybrid solar panel together. I have half of the hard part done. I just need some amount more UU matter to be able to make the rest of the sonarium for what I need. I actually have the iridium. Oh, speaking of which, where did I leave that here? I sure did leave that there. Okay, so there's that. So yeah, that's the rest of the iridium I need for it, and I'm just going to go ahead and invest it in that, and hope that that'll speed up production enough that that it would be more of a benefit to invest it in that than to count it toward these 54 here. So yeah, let's go ahead and just implode those. Let's see, what else have I done? I added a second industrial blast furnace and a little bit of automation for these. So this router pulls stuff out of the grinder, blast furnace, either of them, and the vacuum freezer, and puts it into that chest down there. This one pulls hot tungsten steel ingots out of the chest after they've been extracted, and puts them in a vacuum freezer. So if I just start smelting tungsten steel in either one of these industrial blast furnaces, we'll end up with vacuum hardened tungsten steel in here. So that's pretty cool. Lightning rod is up. It's not doing a whole lot. I had been under the impression that it was most effective if you built it all the way up to the height limit, but it turns out that the height is actually not the important part. It's the length of this rod. So it's more effective if you put it all the way down at bedrock and build the rod all the way up. So this isn't such a great setup. It's getting a little bit of extra power every once in a while to this matter fabricator. I don't have it going into my MFSUs here. I have added a bunch of other generators though. We have all of these diesel generators here, all running on nitro diesel, because I had an excess of glycerol and fuel, and I wanted to do something good with it, so I decided to turn it into nitro diesel and start burning it here. So these are only 12 EU per tick each, but there's a bunch of them, and they're using these resources to produce power, so that's handy. This one just is for inserting into them. This one pulls out the empty cells and puts them into this chest. Right, so I need to automate a whole bunch of stuff to get all of the components together, because crafting this by hand just really isn't practical. I am still doing a lot of it by hand, but I'm automating where I can to make it easier on myself. Right, so we didn't actually go through all these. So let's see, that many energy flow circuits. Still a little way away from that. I'm actually working on crafting them right now. This deep storage unit was having lapis put into it by lapis bees. I'm not currently running them, but I got a huge amount. So I'm using it with this fabricator to make lapitron crystals, which these two routers then pull out and put into these assembling machines, so I don't have to manually stick the lapitron crystals in there to make these energy flow circuits, because they don't stack and it's a pain. But with routers and fabricators, that takes care of itself pretty nicely. I think I have all of the data control circuits that I need. That's the number that I counted, so hopefully that's the right number. Need a lot of chrome, so I need to ramp up my chrome production a lot more. Titanium I'm actually a lot closer on. Let's see, that's like 7.5 stacks or so, and I have just under 6 stacks. So yeah, I'm pretty close to having the titanium I need. Beryllium is kind of a slow one. Okay, so beryllium. I'm actually almost halfway there. I looked at... So the only two places you can get beryllium are from emerald dust and ender pearl dust. And I'm using bees to produce those two things. And looking at the math, ender pearls actually come out slightly ahead. Even though they produce less in the electrolyzer. Just the rate at which bees produce the resources you need to electrolyze is slightly better for ender pearls than for emerald dust. But I'm just doing them both. I have a lot more alvearies here. Just kind of been building them as quickly as I can with this one carpenter. Oh, speaking of which, I need to refill it. Let's do that right now. Replaced all these barrels with deep storage units, and I did what I talked about with using... Wait a minute. No, I didn't. There was something I wanted to do here with a fabricator. I'm using these routers and item tesseracts. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember. Yeah, I'm doing it over here. So this router right here is pulling out things from this router when they are unable to go into a deep storage unit here. That was the best way I could figure out to do filtration with routers. So you just fill this up with... I need multiple item filters per router or something, or just a bigger buffer here, because this is only 9 slots, and that's not really enough to specify all the stuff I want to specify here. But in particular, this pulls pulsating propolis out of there and ejects it into this chest. Then I have this fabricator here, turning it into pulsating meshes. And there's another router somewhere. Maybe it's this one? Yeah, that's the one. Which puts it into this carpenter and makes ender pearls out of it. Then another router pulls out those ender pearls and puts them in this chest. So ender pearl production is fairly well automated. Right, I was getting that going again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. 1, 2. Then we need 6 stacks of planks. Yeah, I said at the beginning of this I didn't want to rely on bees as much, but kind of the thing I wanted to do with this this floating island place is to this is almost full of charcoal. Is to basically not have to go mining. I wanted all the necessary resources for things up here, and a lot of this stuff just can't really be gotten practically without bees, or can't be gotten at all in some cases. So I will have to use bees for quite a lot of stuff, but that's okay. I like them. They're fun. I have almost all the breeds that I want, although I keep finding more that would be handy for me. Like I said, I'm one breed away from... is it valuable? Yeah, valuable. The ones that produce platinum. So I can get platinum and iridium out of that. I got aura bees with the fastest trait and relic bees with the longest life trait. So we have bees that are as good as we want them to be. I was just going and labeling which ones of these are contain super bees as I was as I was replacing them. They're all super bees now. So what do we have? Ruby, fossiled, diamond, fiendish, lots of fiendish. Fossiled produces coal dust. Fiendish, ruby. Already looked at that. Impregnable, ender, demonic, fossiled, and emerald. So our primary resources that we're producing from that are phosphor, coal dust. These guys are very slow. That's why we need so many of them. And I guess those are the big ones. Also getting a lot of ash. You can electrolyze this for carbon cells, which is fairly convenient. If I go quick, I can sleep. Sun's coming up. So yeah, bees are doing pretty well. I'm near the end of the line with them. I thought I was last time, but turns out not. Anyway, so yeah, we need a ridiculous amount of coal dust and tin dust. And yeah, I'm not really very close on either of those. I am very close on the dense copper plates, though. We need 16 stacks, and I have 13, so that's pretty close. Like I said, about halfway there, close to halfway there on beryllium. So yeah, we're getting there. I have these fabricators set up for making those components. Don't really have the iridium plates for that yet, and I didn't have all of the components to put together the recipe here. But we could use this a little bit and go ahead and just insert... Well, I kind of don't want to because I want to keep track of how many resources I have separately. So I'll probably get most of this together and then go on a big crafting frenzy to actually put all the fusion coils together. And then we'll build the reactor, and that'll be fun. So let's see, did I talk about this? Have a bunch more centrifuges here that are all filled up with lava and are making these things. Way too much electrum in proportion to the other stuff. I have been pulverizing some of it and centrifuging the results to get gold and silver out. My centrifuges were busy doing platinum dust a moment ago. I got the platinum dust by going mining in the end for sheldonite on the asteroids. That was fun. Yeah, not much of a good place to get it other than that, if you don't have valuable bees. So that's why you need the bees. And that is how I got the iridium for the necessary iridium for the ultimate hybrid solar panel here that we're trying to build. There's our plates. Speaking of which, yeah, my problem right now is just getting all the UU matter I need for the scenarium. Let's go ahead and turn this on. I think these are pretty full. Yeah. And those fill themselves up pretty well with the amount of generators I have stacked up here. I have a few gas turbines in here. I've been carrying methane cells up from my big tank of methane down there, but that's emptying slowly. Let's see, have I done anything else interesting? For some reason, I like to use this packager to put these things together. It's a little bit slower, but it feels easier than putting 3x3 thing in the crafting grid. Anyway, let's see. Took down those birch trees. We didn't need them. These 4 boilers are definitely keeping up with my MJ needs. Pretty much. This is... Yeah, usually most of those are full and a couple of them are totally empty. Okay, so half of them are full, half of them are empty. I have these combustion engines running right now because I already loaded some fuel into them and might as well use it for something. I assume it's going to a productive place here. It's just weird how it does that. I don't know. Anyway, replace this barrel with a deep storage unit. So I figured out, yeah, I wanted this to just keep going no matter what. And deep storage units are pretty much bottomless, so I'll just get an infinite supply of wood there. And even actually when it was stopping and waiting until these boilers needed planks to chop down the trees, this was still keeping up just fine. It had plenty of saplings and other stuff that it needed. Looks like it just switched off of apple juice to honey. So that wasn't even a problem, but I just kind of want it running all the time. Yeah, I think that's most of the stuff that I've done around here. The rest of this is about the same. I'm getting the... Oh, hey, here's something we'll probably have to deal with. I'm getting the string for these untreated frames that I'm routing into these frame housings from a small flax farm down here, which I've expanded a bit. I think I'm going to have to expand it again because I'm actually going through the string faster than I'm producing it now. The underside of this thing is starting to look pretty crazy. I got these furnace pipes going all over the place for connecting router networks together. All these things that bees need to see as flowers over here. Conduits running all over the place. Buildcraft pipes for bee resources. This ridiculous stack of... I can actually take all this down now, since I'm not using that turtle birch tree farm at all. Here's the lava lines from my... Right, the reason we need so many fiendish bees is for the phosphor that we're squeezing in here. This one squeezer... Okay, it's actually full now. It keeps up with like 4 or 5 fiendish super bees. And yeah, uses up their phosphor as fast as it's produced. Because I am using a lot of lava here. I have all these thermal generators, which are sort of the main power for my thing. Nuclear reactor provides a little bit of bonus. These diesel generators provide a little bit of bonus, but it's mostly the lava power. And it's also going into these centrifuges to produce these resources. So there's that. Let's see, that's still going happily. It's actually almost done with my elite circuit boards. I'm going to have to make some more of those. I have actually been crafting them now instead of just getting them out of scrap boxes, because the scrap boxes are not fast enough to keep up. So one other thing, oh, actually two other things I wanted to mention. So, yeah, coal is obviously one major problem here. I had forgotten about fossiled bees. I thought there wasn't a way with bees to get coal dust other than diamond bees, which produce it very, very slowly. But, yeah, there are fossiled bees. But until I remembered about them, I was thinking I could do something with the wither skeletons. Like I've said before, I don't really like to use soul shards, but I wanted to have them as an option. So I've gone ahead and collected that many wither skeleton kills and that many ghast kills, because we're going to need ghast tiers too. But then I thought of something. I don't know why I never tried this before, but skeleton spawners in the nether will spawn mostly wither skeletons. So I just found one and picked it up and brought it in here and set up a basic little monster trap here. So I can, there's not much to it. Doesn't even really have a softener. They take a little bit of fall damage there, but that's it. But yeah, I can just come here and wait for them to spawn, clean them up, and get a whole bunch of coal and wither skeleton skulls. So I've fought a wither or two. There's actually not that much I need nether stars for. But I'm actually a little bit more interested in the wither itself. And I'll show you why. So that saltpeter ore spawner over there, or spawners as I found, I figured out a bunch of things about them. There are in fact multiple ones. There are several distributed throughout the bedrock down at the bottom, and each one will create one saltpeter ore above itself. And I found out there is actually a legitimate way to pick them up in this version. It's a bit destructive, but yeah, notice that little hole down there? Withers, with their strong block breaker attack, yeah, this would just take me down to the void if I went down into it, can actually destroy the saltpeter ore spawners. And they destroy them in such a way that they will occasionally drop as a block. So, if I wanted to pick up some of these and move them, I could come here with a coin of fortune, summon a wither, get him to shoot his strong projectiles down at the ground, and I would be able to pick up at least a few of those as they get blown up. So that is kind of tempting, but at the same time, I'd actually be better off just leaving this here, because, like I said, that's destructive. Explosions don't drop all of the blocks they destroy, only some of them. And, yeah, so I'd only get a few out of that. But it would be handy if I wanted to transport them back to my place, which I kind of would like to, because like I said, I don't want to leave it to go mining. I kind of want everything I need to survive to be up there on the floating thing. Yeah, so I might do that. It'd be an interesting wither fight, because we're not just trying to kill him, we're actually trying to get him to help us out and destroy some things for us. Because I don't know of any other way to do that. I mean, a normal TNT explosion won't break it. Just the strong wither projectile, the blue one that he shoots. I think it has a name. I don't know it though. So anyway, I need to work on gathering more resources. Oh, so much tin. I mean, I can make tin with this thing, but it's just not fast enough. I may have to lean on bees a little bit more for that. I do have, what the heck are they called? The bees that produce tin. Oh man, I should know this off the top of my head, but I totally don't. Tarnished. Yeah, it's tarnished. So I do have tarnished bees here. And I could have them producing some of these tin combs for me. I should probably do that. But I mean, they're not all that fast either. It'd give me a little bit of boost, but I'd still have to do a lot of waiting. So yeah, this is pretty much a waiting game. Okay, so let's just pull this out, because this assembling machine is faster. Put it in there. The last Lapitron crystal I need is in the item filter. I really wish these used ghost items instead of actual items, because it's kind of a pain to have to spend an item to tell it which one to filter to. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much all that I've done that's relevant. Yeah, just lots of grinding for resources. Getting there little by little. I'm definitely going to build this thing next as soon as I have enough UU matter. This thing is just so slow, but I want like 8 of those surrounding one of these so it can just be producing UU matter as quickly as possible. Yeah, I think that's probably a wise investment rather than just using all of my UU matter on iridium for the fusion reactor. Because I think I might actually need those solar panels later to power up the fusion reactor to get it to get a fusion reaction started. Because it doesn't just start by itself. I think you have to feed it a whole lot of power before it'll get going. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to what I've been doing, and I'll give you an update again once I've done some stuff. Alright, I'm back. It's a few days later, and I've gotten a little bit further along with some of this stuff. Unfortunately, this is take 2 of this section of the video. I'm recording with OBS instead of Fraps, and you might have noticed some frame rate issues in the first half of this. Had to tweak my OBS settings a bit to get it to record at a higher frame rate, but I must have gotten something wrong because I recorded a black screen for 20 minutes. So let me recap what I just did. Alright, so we're done with the dense copper plates. That is all that we need. Tin still has a long way to go. Coal is actually getting quite a bit closer. You'll notice I have a lot more than last time we looked at it. The reason for that is because I was accidentally exploiting a duplication glitch. It took me a little while to figure out what was happening. So, have a few more alvearies now. I got valuable bees, so we are... Oh, they're over here somewhere. Yeah, so I'm getting platinum out of them. Also got tarnished, so we're getting some tin. So that'll help us with our fusion reactor components. Probably need to run more than one tarnished, but we'll get there in time. So I set up this little thing right here for processing tiny piles of dust into the larger versions. And you'll remember we spent some time on this in the previous Ultimate World that I did. One of the problems was that fossil bees create industrial craft coal dust, and diamond bees create tiny piles, which turns into GregTech coal dust when you craft it. So I have this thing here. Let's see, I have to actually mine in to show some of it. Which is, so this system both turns tiny piles of coal dust. Give me that. Don't want to let it fall down. I should actually just turn on this coin of fortune I have on me. I'll explain what's up with my inventory contents in a moment. But yeah, first this duplication glitch I was seeing here. So, right, so this both turns tiny piles of dust into larger ones and turns the industrial craft coal dust into the GregTech version. So the way it does that is, let's see here, where do we start? So this router right here intercepts industrial craft coal dust. You can tell because it doesn't say C2 next to it. This one does. And actually I need some more industrial craft coal dust to show this off. So let's go ahead and use the forge lexicon on it. You can't automate the forge lexicon, so you have to do some trickery to actually change your type of coal dust, but fortunately since it's dust you can always craft it into tiny piles and then craft those back to larger ones. So that's what I'm doing here. This router intercepts industrial craft coal dust from here because it'll just go there and stay there for a little while because it has no valid inventory in these deep storage units to insert it into because it won't go in here. This is C2 coal dust. So this pulls it out and ejects it to the west, which, nope, did that again, which is a fabricator that turns it into tiny piles. Then there's another router down here which pulls tiny piles out of a fabricator and ejects them to the top. But this one right here also intercepts some tiny piles and ejects them to the top. So everybody, all the tiny piles of dust, whether from crafting industrial craft coal dust or from diamond combs or other types, end up in this chest. So I have a bunch of fabricators surrounding it that make, do what you'd expect them to do. And another router down here pulling large piles of dust out of fabricators and ejecting them to this router, which ejects to this one, which is the one that sends items into deep storage units. So that all works great, but I had a whole barrel of industrial craft coal dust over there with my fusion reactor materials, And I wanted to turn it into the GregTech version because you can't go the other way once you have a tiny pile, which is what I get out of diamond combs. So I needed to use GregTech coal dust. I wanted that all to stack together, so I figured I'd come over here and just stick it into this router, and everything would be good. But then I noticed something strange happening. This number was going up, and I didn't quite I did that again. And I do it every time. For some reason, I always have my cursor there when I press E to get out of the screen. So yeah, that number's going up. This is continually getting tiny piles of coal dust. This is doing that. And we're actually duplicating it because you'll see this will go on forever. So let's go ahead and stop it so we don't cheat too much. I'm not a fan of using exploits like this, but at the same time, the coal dust that I've generated while demonstrating this, and also while just figuring out what was going on with it, I'll keep, because there's no point in throwing it away and just slowing myself down. I still have to wait for the tin. I suspect you could actually do this with tin too. It's something about the interaction of this router and the fabricator next to it, and having this extract from a router. I think it's like extracting from itself. And yeah, ejecting, and the fabricator is also pulling out of its inventory. I don't know, some combination of those three things is causing items to duplicate. But anyway, that's how that works. I need to set up another one of these for platinum dust and another for tin dust, but I'll do that afterward. I won't be able to open the chest or even get to it anymore, but I guess that's fine. I don't really need to look in here, as long as it always looks something like that. And then I'll be out of space, so I'll have to set up another thing. Anyway, so that's all we've really done with bees. So the next thing I did was I made these nichrome heating coils. That was the one stack of chrome I needed to have that wasn't in plate form. So that's done. That's all that we need for our fusion coils. Still a lot of chrome to go. We're done with titanium, though. We have all of those. We're more than halfway there on beryllium. Barely more, but we're there. Right, data control circuits are done. Energy flow circuits are in progress here, I think. Yeah. Right, and I had an extra Lapotron crystal there because I messed up with what I was doing last time. But anyway, so we're getting a little bit closer on those. Let's actually take these out and put them in here, since this assembling machine is much faster. So right, still a little way to go on them, but we're getting there. So right, we made the ultimate hybrid solar panel because I had the iridium I needed. I've put it down here, and it is giving me a bunch more power. So I'm running this matter fabricator. Oh yeah, 4 pieces of UV matter already since I last looked, and it hasn't been very long, so I think we're in pretty good shape there. It's still not going to run that at full speed. I need 8 of them for that to be possible, or more specifically, I need to generate 8192 EU per tick, which 8 ultimate hybrid solar panels would do. So I'm just going to keep investing in those, and possibly additional matter fabricators. Once I get to the point where I'm producing satisfactory amounts of UV matter, I'll start using it for iridium. But since we have valuable bees now, that gives us another way to get iridium. So until iridium is our bottleneck, I'm just going to keep investing in the solar panels so I can make more UV matter. Right. Now, the other thing I wanted to show, right, we talked about this just a bit ago. You can use withers to destroy saltpeter ore spawners, so I actually tried that and managed to claim 2 of them. Let's do it again, because it was kind of interesting, and I'll show you the process. Oh, I won't be able to get rid of this sapling with that on. So let's see, do I have everything? I have kind of okay armor, have 4 of these golden apples, and our coin of fortune. That's another star we got from killing a guy last time. Alright, now I have these 2 saltpeter ore spawners. I want to watch them while they're down there. So I kind of figured out a strategy for doing this. Let's get a little bit more cobblestone. It's a bit of a messy process, actually a very messy process, but it does allow you to pick these up and move them. So I have these 2 I can play with. I'll place them around my base somewhere and make some sort of saltpeter system. I'll have to be very careful about where I put them because they're going to be extremely hard to move afterward if I decide to. Nearly impossible to move losslessly because wither explosions destroy some of them. And I don't really want to release a wither at my base, so wherever we put them, that's going to be their final home. So I took down all the sand down here, and yeah, as you can see, there's more holes in the floor now. let's go ahead and just plug those up so we don't have too many. I feel like I should have more arrows than that. Maybe I'll go back for some before we do this. You can actually go a fair distance down here before you start taking damage. I think it's down to -64. Can't see anything. This is freaky. But we'll be fine until we get down to -64. And then we start taking damage. Okay, let's get out of here. One of the lines in my F3 screen disappears. Is it the biome? No, it's the... Yeah, this one with the LC biome light levels. Okay. Oh, right, because I guess it wouldn't calculate light levels all the way down there. Anyway, let me go get some more arrows, just to be sure we don't run out during this fight. Get this all prepped up and ready to go. And we'll be back here to try this again, see if we can claim ourselves some more saltpeter ore spawners. Alright, here we go. I got some more arrows coming down by Battle Arena now. So the reason I want the saltpeter here is just to make gunpowder. I could make a niter generator like we did in the last world, but we've already done that. I want to do something more interesting with these things. This thing works if it's not in my action bar, right? Yeah, okay, so that just comes right back to me. Okay, good. So I don't have to use an action bar spot for that. Okay, are we ready? We have this so we can see if we've gotten one. We're not ready because I need a shelter here. So the strategy for doing this, as I'll demonstrate in a moment, is to get him above something like the... Oh, you know what? I want something see-through, because we learned before, I want to be looking up at him and be able to see him through it. So, let's see, what's a good block for that? I guess glass is actually pretty cheap, since you can just make it out of sand. Okay, let me get a couple of stacks of glass. But can he see me through glass? Probably not. Okay, well, if he can see me through glass, then we have a problem. But, okay, wasn't as prepared as I thought. Just a second. Alright, here we go. Let's see how this works. So, a bunch of glass with me. Yeah, let me show you how I do this. So, I put this here. Move away from him a little bit. He'll go upward. I'll stand under this. He won't see where I am anymore. And he'll kind of get bored and start shooting his blue projectiles, which are the only ones that can destroy the saltpeter ore spawners. Okay, right. Our coin of fortune is on. I need to watch where he's shooting. There must be something alive over there that he's shooting at. That's actually quite inconvenient. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to wait here until he shoots a blue one. See which way it goes and sort of follow that. Hope it hits the ground. And hope that it destroys a saltpeter ore spawner and then I can pick it up. So that's a lot of hoping. A lot of randomness. Let's go ahead and eat one of these just in case. So he destroyed my glass. Let's put down a little more. Yeah, okay, so that's a problem with glass. It's much more fragile than the... there could be one over there. Nope. No such luck. And as soon as I come out, you know, he's gonna spot me, and I have to go hide again. I want him to shoot sort of in this area, because most of them are right over there. So as soon as I see a blue projectile going that way, that's where I will go. That's kind of in that direction. No luck. Okay, try again. This guy's actually dumber than I realized, so I didn't know you could do this so easily to get him to just sit there and not attack you. He doesn't know how to come around and shoot me down here. Alright, that could just... Oh, no, it's not going to destroy anything. Okay. Yep, so let's wait around for another one. I want to get at least one more ore spawner so you can see the process fully. Because we managed to get 2 last time. And I was doing this with cobblestone, so I couldn't see above where I am to where I was shooting. Good. Yeah, okay, so that destroyed 2, but unfortunately neither of them dropped. So we couldn't... Oh, that destroyed 2 more. Wish I could get them, but... Nope. Alright. Because, yeah, the explosion has to drop a block, which only happens occasionally. So, yeah, this is destructive. We're running out of saltpeter ore spawners. I'll have to find another desert to do this again if I want any more. Oh, gotta wait for him again. I don't know if there's a way to, like, coax him into shooting those things more often, or if he uses his move that he uses that breaks a bunch of... Nope, there's a stuff there. That breaks all the blocks immediately around him. I think that just destroys them, though, and they never drop, right? I don't know all that much about how this guy works, actually. All right, we're looking for one going that way. Shoot that way. No, no. I want to be able to see over here. Shoot that way. Shoot that way. It's getting to be nighttime. I need you to shoot the ground. Nope, neither of those. Give it a moment. I want to get at least one more. Yeah, this is on, just to be double sure. I'll put it in the bar. No, neither of those. Yeah, so a lot of randomness, a lot of waiting. But it will work eventually. I managed to get 2 of them. I just want I want it to happen again so I don't look crazy. Go here again. He's poured out some lava. That's fine. You can do that. Yeah, this is exceedingly slow. Okay, that could be a good one. Let's follow it. Yes! Okay, that one's up to 3. We got another one. All right, so prove the concept. And now let's kill him. Let's see, that's the best way to do that. I'd like to kind of get away from him, but I don't think that's going to happen. So instead, let's just shoot him from down here. Probably eat another apple. Don't fall in the void! Just thinking about that as it happens. So yeah, that's actually a possibility here. Alright, melee time. There we go. Another nether star for me. Cool. And one more saltpeter ore spotter. I wish I'd gotten more than just one more. Because, yeah, we're definitely running out. I mean, there's still quite a few here, I'm sure. But we are spending quite a lot of them every time we do that. But anyway, so we have 3 of them. We can play with them back at our base now. And I would quite like to do that. So yeah, I'm going to take these back and figure out some setup that should generate saltpeter for me. I can do the piston thing like I talked about. Just set up a... set them somewhere. I'll definitely test out my setup in creative mode before I put those down, because once we put them down, we cannot move them, and I'd hate to find out something like they actually have to be way down in the ground or something. But I'm hoping I can just put them here, put a little bit of sand on top of them, move it aside with pistons, and once we get saltpeter ore, just mine that with a silk touch pick, and it'll be good to go. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully I'll show a concept for that next time, and maybe we'll be a lot closer to our fusion reactor too. So, let's see you guys then. Thanks for watching.